Yeah, this area here is chaotic. We want it to be chaotic. We've got trees coming out everywhere. We've got all kinds of taller plants that are coming through, grasses. And this area here has a little bit of a story. The river's right here, and it gets very violent. So we want as much growth happening here so that this land stays put. It's very important to us to conserve this area because the birds love it here. It's the separation from the main garden, so there's a bit of more tranquility here, and the birds actually, you can hear them, you can see them, they hide inside here. So it's a very important place for us to preserve this piece for the birds and other animals. So what I've done is I went ditch hunting. We're going to plant all this stuff now. There's trees, there's succulents, there's um, larger trees, there's elephant ears, ferns, stuff to make horchata, large grasses. So we're going to use these plants and find anywhere we have holes, and we're going to start planting all this up. Marigolds, beautiful grass, eucalyptus trees. So we're going to get started and show you what we do. Ese es willow. Sí. ¿Dónde vas a poner? Allá a la orilla. Sí, pues el río. Yeah, we got a bunch of willow trees we're putting out right on the shore edge. It's other willow. Give that to Laura. Here. So, eso, the willows. Más abajo, Laura. En el portón, así. I'm going to plant them directly on the side. He has more willows. We have these grasses growing here. They're incredibly strong. River has a hard time taking that with it. We're going to try to give them a good start with some good soil. Okay, what else you got? ¿Qué más tienes? Estos aquí, Laura. These guys. Son locos estos. Que vas atrás de mí, Laura. We have a whole bunch of trees that we want to get in here. That gives us some energy. Laura, this is a pura eucalypto. These grasses, that's what they're like in about 6 months, 4 to 6 months. That'll turn into that. That's how powerful these grasses are. You know, there's always this idea that it's a lot of work to rejuvenate an area. And all it really is for you as the gardener to give these areas a new jump start. So we threw all the beans down. That creates the green matter, the coverage that we need. And then we come along and we basically strategically place other plants inside the beans. So there's a bit of shelter and energy sharing going on that makes it very, very powerful. We've put a lot of seeds in here as well. When anything flowers here, and we basically throw it in the garden. We even have to be careful now where we're walking. Yeah, we even have this ground cover that does incredibly well. It has these wilted leaves or pressed leaves. I don't know how you want to describe it. Grows incredibly well. Yeah, this idea of planting something for the future has to be done a lot more. This idea that your plants are going to protect your bank of your river is very important. But the main idea is to constantly keep adding more and more plant material to this chaos area so that life can regenerate itself and restart over. Even planting inside areas where there's trees that aren't doing so well is a good starting point because you're using the protection of the plant itself. That really does help the process of growing something close to the shore's edge. There's always this idea of planting something next to each other. It's a very good idea because you're getting quite a bit of protection that way. And it's always important to pick a day where it's not terribly hot out. Always a good day when it's a bit rainy and again, the ditch finds here are better than anything you can buy in a nursery almost. It's fantastic what is lying around everywhere and growing. We're going to do this maybe 10 more times, keep adding and adding and adding all kinds of different plants and get this to look a lot more powerful than you can imagine. It's always good when you're planting these big trees to give them a good start with at least a bit of good topsoil in this really gravelly stony soil. Everything dries out so fast, so it's good to have a little bit of a soil that maintains the moisture, especially when it comes to larger trees. You know, there is this idea when you're gardening and something isn't really pretty, you have to get over it. You have to let nature take care of itself by growing all this different material. And if you let nature have a go at it itself, it'll do a lot better than you could. Mixing these plants together, getting the birds to come in here. The birds have brought so many seeds already, so it makes a big difference having all these plants in the ground so the birds can actually benefit from them. We do have to do a stone picking here where we go through everything and get rid of as many stones as we can, just so there's a bigger growing surface. The idea too is you need to have a little bit of a vision. What I mean by that is you have to say to yourself, okay, 5 years, what's this going to look like? What are these trees and plants going to do? Quite important to have a little bit of a vision on how overcrowded or how crowded this is going to be. Giving these plants a good start with this fresh soil is very important. Yeah, it would be foolish for us to plant anything outside of this zone here because the river is going to take it. So we're really limiting ourselves to the sort of the protected margin and getting everything to start growing in these areas. It'll be harder for the river to take anything away that has green matter attached to it. It's very funny. If you have basically sand or gravel, the river takes it very easily. The moment there's a bunch of roots and entanglement involved, the river can't take it so easily. So that's a very interesting tidbit on how to protect a shoreline from erosion and violent currents. It is a little bit of this idea of creating a plant graveyard. Sounds funny, but basically every plant is welcome in this area. We have so many plants in the garden that we want to move down here. Makes a big difference if you have a good selection of plants. You can see what does well, what doesn't do well. And in this place, we have so much aggressive growth because plants do incredibly well because of the moisture content here. And we do water this area. It's important to us to keep it active. We always encounter beans that were just lying on top that haven't started to root yet. They do have a peculiar habit of reaching for the soil, meaning that they will, even if they're on top, they will somehow get their roots in the ground. Yeah, I want to talk about something very, very important, and that is the moment you have plant life growing in this gravelly soil, something very peculiar happens. The soil improves itself. So the roots of the material, the plants, will actually help to change the soil from a gravelly, sandy mix to a more nutrient-rich topsoil mix. So remember that if you have to change gravelly, sandy soil with lots of rocks in it into a better material, plant the daylights out of it. Makes a big difference because these plants already, I can see everywhere, the soil or this sandy gravel has turned black already, making it a much more effective material for us to grow stuff in when you put other plants in. So this pioneer species of these beans and other plants getting that gravel and soil working in terms of turning it into black, richer topsoil makes all the difference in the world. So remember, if you want to condition sandy soil, grow stuff in it. Get it working. Get the soil alive. Get it full of plants so that they can do their job. They're your best employee. You can't have a better employee than the plants working your soil. Yeah, listo. There always is this matter of dealing with dead matter. We use the dead matter. We just basically chop or pull and drop it where it occurs, and that gives new energy to the garden. So we do that very frequently, or do quite a bit of pruning just to make it look more lively. You don't want to see this place in 1 year. You won't be even able to walk here. That's how much it's going to be, filled in. It's going to be awesome. ¿Es this todo?
Yeah, we always gather sticks and dried leaves and dried grasses, and we also use this to push against the water's edge and protect the new seedlings that we've planted. By doing this, we basically make it harder for the river to take our topsoil with it, and this entanglement gets covered with more material, and the river just has such a hard time dealing with this twiggy material, grassy material. We make sure we leave room for the seedlings to come through. We protect them a little bit with this material, and these grasses really do make the soil stay in place when the river gets really violent. Very good method of sticking this like dead material or dried up material into the river, putting some rocks on top of it,